We'll look at a few examples of how to calculate the circumference of a circle. For the first one, we have the circumference, we have the circle with the diameter given as 5 meters. For the second one, we have a circle with only the radius given as 4 meters. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. As we know, we need to remember, there's two different formulas that we can use to calculate the circumference of a circle. Circumference is equal to diameter times pi, and also circumference is equal to 2 pi r. And the reason why it's 2 pi r is because since the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, okay, so if we substitute this 2r back into the diameter, it gives us the circumference is equal to 2r times pi, and all we do is rearrange it to write down 2 pi r. So the two different formulas that we're going to be using, they mean the same, but they're just different versions of the formula. Okay, so that's one and that's the other one. So let's have a look at the first one. If we look at the circle, we can notice that our diameter is 5 meters. We have to calculate the circumference. Circumference is given by diameter times pi, which means 5 times. You can just use the exact value on the calculator. Okay, so all you need to do on the calculator is just press 5 times pi on the calculator, unless it tells you to use a different value. Now that gives me 15.71, and that's meters, and that's rounded to 2 decimal places. So I write down 2 TP in brackets. Excuse me. If the radius is given, so because the diameter was given in this question, we used that formula. Since the radius is given in this question, we use the formula of circumference equals 2 pi r, which means that we've got 2 times pi times the radius of 4, and all you do is you just slot that in the calculator and you get something like 25.13 meters. Again, that's to 2 decimal places. Now we'll look at examples of when we do not have a full circle. So if you have a look at the example C, the example C is half a circle. Okay, it's a semicircle, that's half a circle. Example D is quarter of a circle. Okay, so let's have a look at what do we do when it's half a circle. All right, so because the diameter is given, and another thing I'd like you to notice, it doesn't say calculate the circumference, because the circumference of a circle is the distance around. So as the definition says, the circumference of the circle is the full distance around. Okay, the circumference is given, that's the special name given to the perimeter of a full circle. But for these two questions, it is asking us to calculate the perimeter. Again, as we know, perimeter is the total distance around a shape. Okay, which means that for these two shapes, it's not only this curved bit that you need to calculate, it's the perimeter. So imagine that you're starting at this point and you're starting right around, you're starting to walk all around the shape and coming back to your starting position. So you'll walk that curved area, which can be given by circumference, and you'll also walk the flat area, which is just the straight distance. So you actually have to evaluate the curved distance plus the straight distance and add them together. Likewise over here, you have to add, if you are starting at O and you're walking straight, then you're walking the curved distance, then you're walking back, the distance covered is actually the perimeter of the shape. Let's see how we can do this. Now, because for C, you're given the diameter, so we can just say that the perimeter is equal to your diameter added to whatever your circumference was. But the circumference is half a circle, so therefore it's divided by 2. Okay, so that gives me, so you have to first find the circumference of the circle, which is diameter times pi, and then you divide that by 2, then you add the diameter to that. So that will give us, the diameter times pi is 6 times pi divided by 2, then you add the 6 centimeters, and if you just evaluate all of that on your calculator and round it off right at the end, you get something like 15.42 to 2 decimal places in centimeters. All right. Now, for the next example, as we've said, it's a quarter circle. So our perimeter means it has to be, we need to divide our circumference by 4. And then if we add, there's 2 lots of the radius. So we have to add 2r. So let's use our circumference formula using the radius, which is 2 pi r divided by 4 plus the 2r. You keep following through and substitute each of the values. So 2 pi times the radius is 5 divided by 4 plus 2 times 5. Okay? If we evaluate all of that, this is 2, that becomes 10 pi divided by 4. And if you put all of that on the calculator and evaluate that, what you get is something like 17.85, and that's again rounded to 2 decimal places.